What up? Big Herc 916. Positivity, motivation, never settle for average, and wash that ass. Go pick you up some soap or some merch at bigherc916.com and represent. One of my viewers were asking me, Big Herc, do you think there's any hope for the hip hop culture and the black community? And I want to say there's always hope. There's always hope and there's always promise. But it's not in the people that you're looking towards right now. It's not the people that are holding the microphone, because a lot of them have already sold their souls, man. And the ones that haven't sold their souls, they're not getting the mainstream recognition. They're not getting their voices out to be heard and, share their music, which has more meaning to it. Music, people think, oh, it's just sounds, it's harmless, it's, entertainment, but it's powerful, man. Music is very powerful. That's why they used to play the drums and the trumpet and different things, and they would march and make a chant when they go to war. Music is the sound of war. It can stir up emotions. It can make people feel sad. It can make people feel angry. It can make people want to take revenge. Music is powerful, man. And if you study different vibrations and learn about how these things resonate with the body, just look at when you play music and look at water, how it moves, how it vibrates. If you put certain plants in front of certain music, you see how certain trees grow faster and how it accelerates growth or how it can stunt growth. Music is very powerful. So never underestimate what you listen to, how it affects your brainwaves, the way you comprehend, the way you learn, the way you mature. It's all part of the senses, so therefore it's going to impact you in some way, some fashion. But there is hope. And as far as for the black community in general, you have to look towards other individuals that maybe aren't on mainstream, but that also share a great message. And it doesn't have to be somebody who's claiming to be a saint or a preacher or somebody who's an athlete, but it's somebody who's maybe been through an experience and now they're sharing words of wisdom. Somebody who speaks from the soul, somebody who cares. There's a lot of individuals out there who are trying to give back. I see them in different podcasts, and I've reached out to quite a few to try to collaborate, and they have a great message, and everybody speaks a different tone when they share their message, because their experience is original to them. Therefore, you'll get a different message from 100 different people, but it still resonates similarities. And so, even myself, I listen to other people and try to take away different things, because you can never stop learning. You're always a sponge. You can always gather more information, and you can also delete bad information. So just because you've had experiences maybe that weren't so great, things that were negative, you don't have to hold on to those. You can let those go, and you can continue to move forward and grow and build and still find redemption, unless you're in a place where you pretty much have written that off, and that would be locked in a hole somewhere in prison, and you're doing life because you committed something so heinous it will never let you out. But if you haven't done that and you have opportunity to redeem yourself, you can do so, man. And with the opportunities today, man, black, white, Mexican, Native American, there's so much you can do. And don't be afraid to turn to other people and other cultures to create partnerships to where you guys could build together. You know, there's been a lot of different cultures who have worked together, Native Americans and blacks, Jews and blacks, you know, Christians and blacks. There's been all type of different combinations, Mexicans and blacks, who have done big things, man, you know, and it hasn't necessarily been an exploitive situation. Yeah, there are cultures who exploited the black culture, of course, the Dutch, the British, the French, the Chinese, but at the same time, there's been people in those cultures who have actually helped and worked with black people. And, you know, we've been able to capitalize on opportunities. I know, you know, the game is biased. You know the game, there's certain rules you gotta look towards, and you can't, you know, say certain things if you're trying to make certain moves, because it can shoot yourself in the foot and it can be held against you. And it's the game, man. I mean, you know, what can you say? I mean, at the same time, you gotta have some type of hope and have a goal and a dream, and not let, you know, the system crush that to where you feel you're hopeless or helpless, and then you just do crazy shit because you don't care what happens to you. And that's what a lot of young men do. They just give up. They just like, whatever, you know, you don't care about taking a life. You don't care about what you talk about. You don't care about what you sing about. As long as you're getting paid, that's all that matters. But there's more to it than that. You know, we lift up each other, and the whole elevates eventually to another level, and your kids elevate to a level beyond what you had. But we gotta get back to some values. We gotta get back to some type of family structure. You know, a lot of people have, you know, turned away from God. A lot of people don't really want to hear that kind of talk. Everybody's thinking, I just do what I want to do. But whether you're Muslim, whether you're Jewish, whether you're you know, Judeo-Christian, whether you're Protestant, whether you're Buddhist, you know, there's a value in having a calling to a higher power that you feel you answer to, which lends to you treating people a certain way. And we all have to find that, because when you find that, it's a universal law where, you know, you treat older people a certain way. You value, you know, kids. You try to help people. You want, you know, things to prosper. You know, you're not about, you know, death and bloodshed. You know, you can't be naive, but at the same time, because you can't just, you know, people think, oh man, you know, you're a good Christian or a good Muslim, you know, and you just are supposed to just let somebody come through and run over you. Nah, you got to stand for what you believe in, but at the same time, you have a value system, and that's what we need to get back to in the household. So we can't really hold all of, you know, hip hop accountable for how your kids are acting. You know, the parents have to take a responsibility and know that it's more involved now, parenting. And you know, the music, I don't see it, you know, reversing, you know, and there is good music out there, but at the same time, just the whole prison culture, you know, I tell you all the time, these prison commercials, these young kids, you know, they're getting pistols, you know, what do you call these, ghost guns, like they get Skittles, you know, like they buy candy bars and they think it's cool. And it's up to you to set standards and, you know, make sure your kids have a sense of understanding when it comes to parenting, and knowing that doing certain things is not going to sit right with the family values. But there's hope. I never give up. I always keep a positive mentality. You know, the streets are they're over with. You know, you see all these dudes, you know, telling each other. Nobody wants to do no time, man. Don't nobody want to sit up in there for 3 decades. You know, you got these cats, man, they talk a good game, and they're out here terrorizing. As soon as they get locked up, they cut a deal after they did all type of crazy stuff to people, and they think it's cool because they can get right back out. But there's always going to be something to pay, man, when you do stuff, man, whether you pay for it in jail or somehow something else affects you in your life through another family member. But just think about when you're doing something and you know it's not right. How would your mother or your grandmother or your father look at you if you have one of those individuals? Hopefully you have one of those individuals in your life. How would they look at what you're doing, and would they praise your actions? And maybe that'll make you think twice. Or would you want your kid to be doing what you're doing? Better yet, would you want your child to be engaged in whatever you're engaged in that's causing harm in some way or form? You know, so hey man, stay positive and always aspire and never give up. Big Hurt 916. Get your hygiene game up. Go wash your ass. Go to bighurt916.com and pick you up one of our bundles of soap. We have oatmeal milk and honey, monkey farts, butt naked scrub, island citrus scrub, cool water, and howling at the moon. And get your nutsack right. Stop walking around with a crusty butt, smelly ball sack, and a funky hoo-ha. Big Hurt said wash that ass. Pick you up a t-shirt at freshoutseries.com.